Show you what's happening outside right now. This is the view out my window here on the 25th of February, 2018. We are just now getting our first snowfalls of winter. Yes, Punxsutawney Phil got it right this year, at least for all of us up here in the Pacific Northwest. We are definitely not having an early spring. And the great part about this is that I don't have to go anywhere, so I can just sit back with a nice cup of hot tea, or a Bloody Mary is what I'm enjoying right now, and watch this show out the window. Speaking of shows, I know a lot of you are wondering what I've been up to since I relocated here from Los Angeles a few years ago. Well, I'm never at a loss for things to do around here, that's for certain, but I have been working on creating a new show that's getting very close to air. The show is called Timeline. It will air live here on my Facebook page as well as on my YouTube channel. The topics are going to be broad and certainly swirl around the subjects I've explored in my book, The Key of Life, A Metaphysical Investigation. I'll also be interviewing many of the characters that have crossed my timeline in the 45-plus years of working in the news and entertainment business, sharing with you their very interesting stories and talents. Now, I call them characters because we're all in a big play here, acting out the roles that we've challenged ourselves to play. The timeline is where it's all happening. Now, you may be asking yourself, what exactly is a timeline? And, well, that is an easy question to answer. It's simply all the points in time that make up the entire history of our existence. Each of us has our own personal timeline. For instance, I was born on July 8th, 1953, and from that point in time up to this very moment makes up my timeline. Of course, the general timeline of our entire human existence extends far back beyond each of our own births, but it's also traveling in the opposite direction into what we like to refer to as the future. And the future interests us because it appears to be uncertain. We have no way of knowing for sure what it holds, or do we? Well, that's one of the areas that we'll be covering in the show, so keep an eye on my page for the air date of Timeline. But in a few hours, it will have been 23 years since events occurred on my own timeline that put into motion the key of life. It was around 2 a.m. on February 26th that my grade school friend Kathy Lynch passed away and reached out to contact me after she had passed. I've spent the past 23 years immersed in this journey, moving along the timeline, researching and reviewing everything that crosses my path on this subject. And one of the things I do know is that whether you know it or not, we are all time travelers here, moving along on this timeline together. At first glance, it may seem that the journey is for a very short amount of time, just a lifetime, which can run from mere seconds to over 100 years. Well, fasten your seatbelts because things are not always what they appear. This show is going to explore all directions of the timeline, past, present, and future. Now, this has to be a personal journey for each of you as it was for me. I don't want you to believe anything because we're here to erase beliefs. I want you to instead be your own solid journalist. Shine a light on the truth. And once that truth replaces your beliefs, the mystery of who we are, why we're here, and how we're all connected will be answered. Well, it's time for me to get back to work on the show, but watch this space for more to come. And good night, everyone.